What's up? How you doing? And welcome back to another episode of the Foreigner Podcast. The podcast where we talk about everything concerning being an exchange student or living abroad in general. All those kind of topics. And today, again, I have an episode for you where I interview someone. Well, I interviewed Sophia. She's an exchange student from the US in my class, so I see her every day. And I thought I could interview her for my podcast, and she liked the idea, but more to that in the actual interview. So yeah, I think there's no more things to say in advance other than enjoy the interview. I'll cut it in right here. And there we are, right in the interview with Sophia. So first of all, as always, the first question is, well, Sophia, who are you? Why are you on this episode?
Of course, I'm Sophia, and I'm 18, and I'm from Fairland, Oklahoma, and I'm here for a number of reasons. First of all, I'm here in Germany because my dad was born in Germany, and he always told me, about how beautiful it is, and all of the things he saw, and just how amazing his experience was in his youth here, and that is a big part of why I always wanted to come to Germany. And once I discovered that I could receive a scholarship and come here for 10 months, I definitely wanted to do it. I'm also here because, my entire life I've wanted to travel and kind of broaden my horizons and meet all kinds of people, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity.
So you mentioned a scholarship. So what scholarship did you get?
I'm here through a government-funded scholarship called CBYX. And I'm here with FLAG, which covers the southwestern part of the United States.
Okay, for everyone who is more interested about the CBYX, I already did an episode on that with Louisa, who went there as a German, and she went to the US, so definitely check out, I think it's my second ever episode, so if you are interested more in the scholarship, then check that out. So, Sophia, as you are an exchange student in Germany, and your dad told you about Germany. So what were your expectations coming to Germany?
A big thing my dad always mentioned whenever he talked about Germany, the main thing he mentioned whenever he talked about coming to Germany is, of course, the food and, the Christmas markets and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
He always talked about Glühwein and how he loved walking around the Christmas markets with his family. And of course his experience is different from mine, which I'll mention that later on.
Okay.
He lived on an army base.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad's side of the family is German, and my ancestors partially are from Germany, but my dad's side of the family, their experience in Germany is a little bit different from mine because they lived in an army base. So they were surrounded by other Americans. And my dad never learned German, but my aunts did, and my grandma did.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad didn't learn German and things like that, so he got to see, original German culture and experience it firsthand, but it's also different because he's not immediately surrounded by it. He was in an American army-based school and so on. So the experience is basically completely different. So my expectations were, I didn't have too many expectations, to be honest, because I didn't want, if that makes sense, because I knew, no matter how I feel it's going to be, no matter whatever I get in my head, I knew it was probably going to throw me off. So just right off the bat, I was like, let's not build up any ideas of it yet because that's just going to make it harder. So I think if I had any expectations, I knew Christmas was going to be amazing. And I knew I was going to meet a lot of people through the program. And of course, my dad did tell me that Germans have a different kind of sense of humor than Americans do. So I was kind of ready for that.
Do we? Is it so different?
It's hard to explain. I'd say definitely the younger people aren't so different, but I think talking to maybe adult Germans is definitely different than it is for me in America. Like teachers and just random people you meet, I think it's definitely a little bit different.
Yeah, it is. I feel like it's a bit more strict here than it is in the US.
Yeah, like in America, you just go up to people and you're like, hi, and you just start talking to them.
Yeah.
And, everyone's kind of like an open book for the most part. And in Germany, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But also, I felt like in America it was very superficial. Like you could go up to someone and say, "Hello, how you doing? Who are you?" And you would chit chat for 5 minutes, and then that's about it. But if you get
Yeah.
in a conversation with a German, you'll be able to talk for 3 hours.
Yeah, I feel like, well, with me, I'm definitely a talker. Like once someone comes up to me and has a discussion with me, I could talk forever. And so with me, it's a little bit different. And most of my friends are that way. Like I'm the company I keep. And so I guess in my situation, it's a little bit different, but I kind of have to like look outside of the box. And in a way it is like, we'll go up to anyone and we'll talk to anyone, but the conversation might be limited,
Yeah.
you know? And in Germany, once I found out a way to, especially with like the adults and stuff, I found a way to kind of start conversation, and we definitely, like, the conversation always almost leads to politics, which is cool for me. I enjoy that. But yeah, like in that way, definitely you can just have a conversation for hours and hours and hours about anything and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and in America, there can be a lot of small talk.
yeah. That's not a concept Germans are too familiar with. Like, why should I use small talk? If I want to talk to you, then we'll talk. If I just want to be nice to you, then I'll say hello and smile at you, but that's about it.
Yeah, Americans are very smiley in conversations as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But to get back to the expectations you had, like you already said that your dad told you Germany was very beautiful, so I expect that you at least expected to see a beautiful scenery. So did things like that come true?
Yes. It's like, I expected the cities to look a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, every city has a different feel to it, of course. And
In Germany or in
like,
general?
in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say that in America as well, but I think, of course, I was in Würzburg for
Mm-hmm.
2 months, and I went to Munich, and then I went to Leipzig. I've been to Leipzig many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
Dresden. I've been to a few cities. Yeah. And each one is kind of, the feel is definitely different.
Yeah, that's
And,
true.
I took a train from Würzburg to Borgstedt, I
Mm-hmm.
think like a total of 5 or 6 times now, just having to travel back and forth.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was awful, to be completely honest. It was very difficult. But the thing that made it easier in between each stop in each train station was looking out the window and just seeing all the beautiful scenery. Like
Yeah.
the nature and the hills and everything, and that part was definitely beautiful. I'll never forget that.
Yeah. And a feeling that I have, since I was an exchange student to the US as well, when I would like leave a city and enter the next city, you wouldn't like feel a difference. Like, okay, this is now not the city that I used to be in. This is a different city, but it looks exactly the same. Which as when you are in Germany, you actually feel that you leave a village and enter the next village, or that you leave a city and enter a village or whatever.
Yeah, I think more with America in the sense of traveling around and feeling the difference. I think each state is completely different.
Yeah.
Like not so much each city. I think each state is completely different than the other. I live in like the northeast corner of Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm in the like what we call the 4-state area. So we have Arkansas, and we have Missouri, and we have Kansas and Oklahoma. And I basically live in all 4 of those states because I'm in that corner.
Okay.
So if you drive to Joplin, which is in Missouri, it feels completely different than if you were in Oklahoma. Or if you drive to Arkansas, there's a different feel. In Kansas, there's a different feel. And, if I go down south to Texas, of course it's completely different.
Yeah.
And Yeah, and so if I were to just drive into the middle of Oklahoma, it's pretty much the same. It looks the same, feels the same, it's the same culture, but each state is different. But as in Germany, you know, Berlin is completely different than Cologne and Munich and Würzburg and so on and so forth.
Yeah. That's definitely the case.
Yeah.
Okay, so with those few expectations that you had coming true, I would say, we should enter the next question. So I also gave you the questions, like what are differences that you can see between the German and the American cultures? I mean, we already kind of talked about the small talk aspect, but there are certainly more aspects. Can you name any that you find particularly different?
I think a big thing for me in America, of course, because I'm an exchange student, I have to behave a certain way, of course. You're representing your country. So you always have to behave. That's just the rule. But in America, I think teenagers in general are a lot louder. And
I would agree to that.
we're just like very out there. And I'm like I made a lot of friends through my organization from America, different parts of my country. And we all kind of agree on that. When we're together, we're all very excited to meet each other. I'm actually meeting them this upcoming week in Cologne. We're all very excited to be around each other because when all the Americans are around each other, we're louder and we're just more out there. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know if there's a word to explain it. Maybe messy, just a little bit more chaotic.
Yeah.
There's just a lot
more spontaneous.
Yes, exactly.
That's a big difference I saw between the cultures. Like American teens are much more spontaneous than German teens.
Spontaneous. That's actually perfect. That's a perfect way to put it.
Thanks.
Like a big way, like a big thing that me and my friends do, and I think most teenagers do with their friends in America, is you're bored, you text 4 of your friends, you say, "What are you doing?" Whoever's free, you go pick them up and you go on some random adventure and whatever.
Yeah, you just drive around and start stuff.
Exactly, you just do random things. And whatever happens, happens. And you don't know where you're going, but hopefully it ends up being entertaining.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, where I live, it's a small town, there's not a whole lot going on. We do that all the time. So that's a big thing for me, you know, even during the school week. And we just go on random adventures. Adventures. It's a big thing. And I guess,
but I think that also has a lot to do with Americans being able to drive at the age of 16 compared to us Germans at 18.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big thing as well. I do definitely enjoy like the bus and train system in Germany.
Oh yeah.
But I really miss my car.
I believe you.
Like if we had a bus and train system in America, I think a lot more teenagers would have a chance to like save money.
Yeah.
But I really miss just being able to hop in my car and go somewhere whenever I feel like it.
And save nature.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I think that's a big thing between, especially for teenagers, just being more spontaneous.
Yeah.
And I noticed so far a lot of German teenagers, I'm really bad with descriptive words. But, like, a lot of the Americans, I know we talk a lot just about the things we notice about Germany. We have like a group chat within my organization. And something we notice is that, the German teenagers, most of them are very involved in school.
In school? And what?
Yeah.
Germans being involved in school?
Yeah.
No, that's a myth.
That's what I've noticed.
That doesn't happen. No.
Definitely. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a foreign exchange student, people might tell me to do something different, you know? Like, in a helpful way, if that makes sense. Kind of, yeah. But I've had a lot of people, you know, I had to go to 2 different schools now in Germany. And so far, I've just had a lot of people come up to me and say, you should do this and you should do that and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. And
but that's not an expression of people being involved in school. That's just the Germans telling you what they think you should do.
I think, like, for instance, I have an American friend who's in Germany as well, and she's like, oh, I'm always trying to go, to like a museum or something in my city during the week. And no one ever wants to go with me because it's a school week and they just want to focus on school the entire week.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, Like I said.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah, like through the week, it's just school.
Yeah.
Like in America, if I didn't have homework and I had extra time, like let's say I didn't have a test the next day, I had nothing to study for, I would go fishing with my friend or we'd go to a restaurant and I might come home a little bit late. But, of course, if I didn't have if I had homework or if I had a test the next day, I wouldn't do that. But
yeah,
here in Germany, I've noticed even if you don't have any homework, people just stay at home during the weekdays because they want to focus on school. Like, their head is just completely in it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I thought that you meant involved as in school activities, because that's definitely more in the US. Like, if you look at all the booster clubs and the volunteering offices and stuff like that.
And of course, football.
And of course, football. I mean, just this whole school sports thing is so much different.
It's crazy.
Do you miss that? Do you miss like the school spirit?
Yeah, I was never in sports. I'm not a very sporty person. I was in band, but I really miss pep assemblies. And we had all these different chants, and I miss like playing at the football games, and just our football team isn't the best, but we would still get so hyped up.
Yeah.
And it was much fun. It was like a big party, basically.
Yeah, it was. Oh, damn. Now I miss it as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's also a big difference in the German and American culture, because that just the whole school spirit thing is so much different.
Yeah. I think like, at least in my school, like, we don't have so many clubs and we don't have very many booster clubs and things like that because my school is very small. Like, I say that to a lot of people, but they really truly don't understand how small it is.
How many students are there in your school?
I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think the class size, on average might be 25 to 30.
Oh, wow. That's small.
Big.
In a high school?
And, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the high school and the middle school is actually in just like one little building because the classes are so small.
Oh,
and, yeah, like elementary, high school, and middle schools all in one square. We all share a gym and
yeah, that's definitely an indicator for a small school.
Exactly. We can all fit in the gym and have a lot of room left.
As I said in an episode earlier where I was talking about differences in school between Germany and America, I said that at least our school had, I think, 6 or 8 gyms. And that was just the high school, grades 9 to 12. That's
huge.
Yeah.
No way.
No comparison there.
My school, we don't even have like a theater. We don't have like a theater group or
oh wow, that's sad.
Have anything, to be honest. Sad. It is. It kind of sucks. Like, I always wanted to do that, but I never really had the chance. And we don't have soccer or volleyball or...
Oh, wow. Just football.
Football, baseball, softball.
The typical American sports.
Band. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, because what would school be without those sports?
Exactly.
Okay, moving on.
What would American high school be without football?
Exactly. Moving on. The 5th question was my question about the differences in the school systems, but I mean, we just talked about that.
Yeah,
so
we already got there.
Let's talk about the next question. And that's a loop back to the first question, kind of, because you already were touching on that. Like, what were your convincing factors that made you come here?
I think, besides, of course, my dad being born here and telling me about it, like I said before, I come from a very, very small town. and I've always kind of been bored. So I
Chronically
think,
bored in small town
yeah,
Oklahoma.
basically, I think around 7th grade, I was like, how am I going to stay here for another few years? I was
Yeah.
like, wait, this is going to be the same? And I was just kind of like, oh no, I can't do this.
Yeah, I'm
And
out of here.
yeah, so, you know, I kind of decided from a young age that I was gonna kind of go down a different path than most
Hmm.
people in my school. And, um, I just wanted to meet new people
Yeah.
and broaden my horizons once again and just kind of learn about myself, other people, other cultures, the rest of the world, life in general.
Yeah.
And, um, my school is so small and the opportunities are limited.
Hmm.
So no one in my school actually told me about this program. My mom worked with a friend. She mentioned it. She sent me a link to the website. I did all of it by myself and
Oh,
somehow,
wow.
and to be honest, I didn't think I was going to get it. Cause like I said, I did it all by myself.
Yeah.
And like you do the interview and
Hmm.
you write some like short essays and you go through all of that.
Yeah.
And I did all that by myself and I was like, yeah, probably not going to get it, but I mean, we'll see. And
And then you got it.
yeah, basically they just emailed me and I was sitting in class and
On your phone, as a good American would.
yep, exactly. And I realized I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to Germany.
That's
And
amazing.
that was just kind of it. Like, I don't even remember a time where I decided I was going to go.
Oh,
They
you just applied to see what's gonna happen, and
exactly.
suddenly you were like, okay, I'm out.
Yep, exactly. My mom was like, you should do it. And I was like, okay. And then no, I don't even think I literally turned in my application like 5 minutes before it was due.
Oh,
I
wow.
am not even kidding. And still got it. And yeah, like a few months later, I'm in Germany. I don't know. It just happened. And it was all just kind of like, I
So,
knew through leaving that I was going to learn a lot
mhm.
about myself. And I just kind of wanted to test myself to see what I can do, you know?
So how did you become an international exchange student? How did you decide to fly over to another continent? Well, it just happened.
It just happened, really. Like, I always say that. People are like, what? And I'm like, to be honest, that's how it went. I, I
Well, I
have
mean,
no
better than it
idea.
didn't happen.
Yeah, I got really lucky. Like,
Yeah.
it just happened. It got handed to me, I won't lie.
Yeah. Because luckily the scholarship is completely free for you, so you won't have to pay anything like all the
Of
other
course,
exchange students.
that was another thing. Like, I would have never been able to afford it
Yeah.
if they didn't pay for it. And, like, the people in my school weren't even aware they could do this.
Yeah.
I told them, I was like, I'm going to Germany next year, you know, I'm filling out the paperwork at my school, figuring out, you know, if I needed any credits and things
Hmm.
like that. And they were like, wait, what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Germany as a foreign exchange student. They were like, wait, no, foreign exchange students come from like Russia and they come to here. And I'm like, no, we can go there too. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, that happens. And so now, you know, people from my school, people from my area are messaging me. They're like, wait, why are you in Germany? And I'm like, I'm a foreign exchange student. And they're like, wait, how can I do this? And
Yeah, I saw that as
they
well. There were so many Americans who were like, "Oh, Andre, I wish I could do the same thing that you're doing right now." I was like, "You can? What?"
exactly. It's so funny. Like, especially in my school, like no one is aware of these things. They
Yeah.
had no idea. Even my counselor, someone whose job is to literally inform people of the opportunities they can take advantage of, had no idea I could do this. And I was like, yeah, you need to be fired.
Now that's descriptive.
I was like, you really need to know these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's their job.
Can you send me this information? I was like, sure, no problem. It was ridiculous. I think I had no idea. Like I said, I didn't have expectations. I really
Hmm.
had no idea what I was getting myself into. But if I did know anything, I knew that it was going to kind of like flip my life upside down.
Yeah.
And I was going to meet people, I was going to be tested, and I was going to learn and grow a lot. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. And
And
so,
with that, you gave me the perfect stepstone to jump right into the next question. So, what do you feel like are things that you will take home or that you have learned in Germany?
I think, I already know that, of course, like the simple things, I want to continue to learn more German as I go back to America.
Yeah.
And I'm taking a lot of things from German culture back with me. Little things like how Germans eat breakfast. I know this sounds strange. Maybe. Like breakfast with my host family, they just like put everything out on the table. The bread, the butter, everything, and the coffee, and we all like sit around and have breakfast together.
Hmm.
And I really enjoy that.
At least on the
And
weekends, right?
yeah, on the weekends, exactly. And I really enjoy that and want to do that with my family when I go back. And of course, recipes and things of that nature.
Hmm.
But I think the biggest thing is all the friendships that I've made with people from not even just Germany, but
Yeah.
in different states in America and in other countries as well.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even realize I was making friends from like China and Spain and all these different places. And I'm like, holy cow, I didn't know I would have to just go to Germany to meet all of these different people.
Yes,
And
that's the
it's
exchange
amazing.
student effect.
I love it. It's great.
It really is.
Yeah, I am really excited because even whenever I go back to America, I plan on traveling to these different countries eventually and meeting all these people even more and even maybe their families and, I
Yeah.
think that's definitely, that's definitely a big thing. I want to take all those friendships back with me. I definitely don't want to just like forget these people after I go back.
Yeah, that's
And
really important.
yeah, and I mean, the whole thing about being a foreign exchange student is kind of like, how would I explain it? Tying the knot between, Germany and America, but it's not even just that. It's like I'm doing that with other countries as well.
Yeah,
Like, it's
you
awesome.
are.
And I think, other than that, just like personal growth is a really big thing.
Hmm.
If I look back even my first month in Germany, or maybe even just 2 or 3 months ago, completely different person.
Yeah,
And it's like,
I would agree to that. Since
yeah,
you're in
you
my
don't even
class and I see your development, I would definitely agree to that.
like you don't even feel connected to that person anymore.
Yeah,
Kind of like you're disconnected from your old self, and it's amazing like how much you can grow as a person in such a small amount of time.
yeah,
And especially when you're being pushed, you're pushing yourself, you're being pushed by other people. It just kind of it happens, and it's crazy.
yeah,
And I think I want to continue to grow as a person whenever I go back to America and have all of these friends from these different countries, be able to talk to them
hmm,
and, just be really good friends with these people. I think those are the two important things for me. The friendships I've made and my personal growth
yeah.
is just, yeah. I've learned a lot through those two things and I want to take all that back with me.
So you already said something about being pushed or push yourself. So that is another good transition to my next question. You're really good at that. So since you're already here, or you're already here for half a year. So in that time, you definitely, probably, definitely, most likely have encountered. Oh my God, my English encountered challenges. So what has your hardest challenge been so far? And that is, if it's too private, you don't have to say anything. But if there's anything you want to share for other exchange students, then this would be the moment.
I'm definitely an open book, so there's no problem with that. I think, of course, my first month I was in a language camp, but after that I went to Würzburg, and I had some trouble with my host family. And a lot of people would think that that would be like the biggest challenge, but actually it wasn't. I think my biggest challenge has been just going up to people and talking to them. I, in America, am very like outgoing, like I joke around a lot. My personality is just very out there. And I think I realized I'm more shy than I thought I was. 6 months ago, if someone asked me if I was shy, I would laugh. Then come to Germany, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am very introverted. Like, I'm very shy. I did not know this. I had no clue. Even whenever I was in a language camp for the first month being in Germany with other Americans, I was shy. And I had no idea I was shy before. And I think that's been my biggest challenge. Once I go up to someone and I talk to them, usually they like me. I hope so, unless I'm wrong. And I can talk to them forever. I can have a conversation for days. And, you know, I can talk about myself. I love to hear people talk about themselves. And once I get to that point, I'm good at making friends. It's just kind of pushing myself to just go up to random people and ask them how their day is going. I have this thing about maybe thinking they think I'm weird or something like that. I never had that before I came to Germany. I think a big factor of that is because I grew up in such a small area. I already knew everyone.
Yeah.
from birth. So, you know, if I see a stranger, I probably know their cousin or, you know, their grandma or their dog or something. So, like, I have something to know them by. So they're not a complete stranger, but here it's like, I mean, well, nobody.
At home you can at least relate to them or them being there, which you can't in such a new environment, and drastically new environment.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of been that's definitely been my biggest problem. And I'm slowly becoming better. But, I still, like, by the end of my exchange, I want to be a master of just not caring what people think about me and just going up to them and talking. and even if they think I'm crazy, just not even minding, because I went up to someone and I asked them how their day was, even if I didn't know what their name was. And yeah, that's definitely been my biggest challenge, is just meeting people and not being shy.
Yeah. So, as you already said, you're getting better at that, but what are your ways to overcome that challenge? Because I can imagine many exchange students having that problem of being scared to talk to the evil Germans or whatever. So what is your way of overcoming that challenge?
So far, I've made friends with outgoing people because, if I'm around outgoing people, I become outgoing, and it just gives you a sense of comfort. So, I'm gonna say, like, for someone who is a foreign exchange student now or is going to be, who wants some advice whenever it comes to being shy, it definitely helps if you stick around people who don't, you know, have a problem just going up to people and talking to them, or who already have a lot of friends. And, so that definitely helps. And of course, it's just kind of like a personal mental challenge. You have to think about it in this sense. This is kind of your job to make friends.
Yeah.
And
yeah, definitely.
I highly doubt that, you know, a year from now, people are going to look back and be like, oh, that weird person came up to me and asked me, you know, some questions. It was just awful. It's just going to be a big deal. It's not. No one's going to care or remember. It's
Amen.
not that big of a deal.
Amen.
You just need to do it. And once you get there, it's easy. You know, once you just walk up to that person and start talking, it's easy, you know? And even if your German sucks, people really appreciate it if you try.
Yeah.
And that's definitely another challenge for me. I don't want to embarrass myself. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's always hard for me to push myself to speak German. And of course, German's a hard language, but, you know, I highly doubt someone's going to think you're stupid or hate you or whatever because your German isn't that good. Usually people just appreciate it if you give it a go.
Yes.
And even if they do get weirded out by your bad German, just forget about it. You know, for me at least, I didn't come to Germany to impress people. You know, I came here to learn German and to make friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that you need to remind yourself of why you came here. And that's another way I've overcame that. You know, even when people did seem like they were judging me, and maybe I got my feelings hurt, or I felt uncomfortable, you kind of have to snap out of it and be like, okay, why did I come here? I didn't come here to impress, you know, these specific people.
Yeah.
I came here to make friends with people who appreciate when I try German and people who appreciate who I am and for me to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm going to continue to do. And you just snap back into it and continue what you're doing and keep trying.
But also that works vice versa, because if you just have a mindset of just going around and be like, I came here to have fun and be myself, and I don't care what anyone tells me, that can also lead to some harm. Because
you need to have a balance.
Yeah.
Like, you definitely need to have a balance. You can't just be like, you know, all selfish and egotistical. You need to be like respectful and mindful of how others feel. But whenever people are being, you know, rude or maybe even a bit ridiculous, you know, and trying to, you know, control you in a way or make you feel bad, you need to know, like, okay, this person is just being mean.
Yeah, you need to be woke.
Yeah, you need to be aware. And also, if you just need to think about it. Maybe this person is trying to help you out, okay? Accept the help. But if it continues down a path where it feels like they're judging you or pressuring you, you need to remind yourself of why you came here and who you are.
Yes.
And just have a balance of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. You already kind of touched on that, but yeah, as usually, what are advices that you can give to future exchange students, maybe other than just go up to people and talk to them?
Okay, so if you haven't gone to the country yet, if you haven't come to Germany yet, start German right now, please. Please. Because, I did a little bit, kind of, and I'm still struggling with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're an English speaker, almost every other language other than English is going to be hard for you. Sorry. I'm gonna have to say with my limited knowledge, at least from what I know, English is probably the easiest language.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty easy.
If you're American, the accent is gonna be really hard for you to overcome with every language you learn. Because Americans, we use our whole face to talk. And other languages don't do that. And so just start doing that right now, even if it's just vocab. Learn as much vocab as you can. And then once you get here, the sentence structure is going to knock you all the way down to the ground, but eventually you will learn it. So that's number one. Just start learning the language as soon as possible. Also, lose your ego.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have moments whenever you come to another country where you're just absolutely embarrassed and you have no idea what's going on. That I wasn't really ready for. From day one, I was just very confused.
Yeah, the audience doesn't see it, but I'm nodding my head all the time. I couldn't agree more.
Like, there are just times where you have to accept that you have no idea what's going on. Eventually, you don't become anxious by being clueless. But at first, yeah, you're going to be. So, like, have tea with you and maybe, like, learn how to meditate or something. Just figure something out because there are going to be times where you're clueless and anxious and embarrassing things are going to happen. You just need to learn and be prepared ahead of time how to be ready for that.
Yeah.
And like I said before, embarrassing things happen, but you move on.
Exactly,
And
move on.
yeah, you're gonna lose a big chunk of your pride. But it's for the better. Like I said before, personal growth.
Yeah, and you're gonna get it back afterwards anyway, because you're the exchange student now.
Yeah. Like my friend said, he is in Germany with me. He's from Colorado, so that's nearby me, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And so we talk a lot about our experiences. And I'm like, do you ever just feel really dumb? And he's like, yes, I feel stupid most of the time. But it's okay, because when we go back to America, we're going to be gods. I was like, okay, yes, okay, you're right. He's like, everybody's going to think that it's super cool that we went to
I'm
Germany,
losing
but
you
in
right now.
reality, we had no idea what we were doing.
I'm losing your sound right now. It's really bad. Is there any way you think you can fix that? Did you move around or anything? Maybe the reception is bad?
No,
Ah, damn.
I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, you can hear me, but I can't hear you. And
Can you hear me now?
no. I would say the last two questions, we can answer them in a separate call. So I'd stop the call for now and we can test, and then I'll cut the voice together. Okay, so see you then. Okay, so here we are back at the second part of the recording. It took a few minutes, and now I think the quality should be good enough again. So let's get to the almost last question. So I always present an item of the episode in my weekly episodes, where I show one item that every exchange student should have, or a nice to have thing. So is there any item you would say exchange students should own?
Okay. My item is gonna have to be these fancy pens. I don't know if there's a specific word for them. I think you know what I'm talking about.
The German pens?
Like the fountain pens?
Oh, wait. I'll Google it. I'll Google it. You can explain them in the meantime.
Like, okay. So basically I've seen these in America, but we don't use them on a regular basis. I never knew how amazing they were, and now I have one, and I will just write random things for the fun of it because they are just so much fun to use.
The translation is a fountain pen.
Fountain pen, okay. The tip is like a pointy triangle thing, and you can take the ink capsules out, I guess, and replace them and reuse the pen just over and over and over again. My handwriting is a million times better. I have horrible handwriting, but now
you have much more control.
Yeah, exactly. I can actually read what I write now, and I love it. I'm going to buy 1 million of these and take them back to America with me. So get one of those because they make life so much better, especially when taking notes.
Okay, I'll put a link to that in my episode. And for the audience, still, the plugin is broken by the time that we are recording this episode. So if the plugin doesn't come back on, it will still be a link that you would have to click. It will be shortened by just the URL shortener of Google, because the Amazon link is really long and I don't want to have to do all of that. So yeah, just click on the link and you'll be taken to Amazon over my affiliate link. And now let's get to the last question for Sophia. That is, as always, for everyone in every episode, do you have any favorite quote that can be applicable to our exchange student theme, or just a life quote in general?
My favorite quote is a little bit cliche, but I love it the same. It's been my favorite for a while now. One of my favorite people, David Bowie, in One Changes, said, "And these children that you spit on, as they try to change their world, are immune to your consultations and they're quite aware of what they're going through. And
Oh, wow.
if you ever watch the movie The Breakfast Club, it is in that.
That's a pretty cool quote.
Sure, right?
Yeah. Damn it, I start losing you again. So
Oh.
I'd say we could end this here because we're done. So thank you very much for being on this episode again. Or what means again? I mean, for being on this episode in general. And yeah, I think that you can hear me, so I'd say goodbye. Yeah, I think that was her saying goodbye. So bye, Sophia.